Am I on this camera?
Yeah, unfortunately. Welcome to the Wrestling Fan, Wrestling Show, and the Big Beefy Boy, Shaz Beef. This is my fellow old buck in Morro. Ooh. And this is the draw.
Hello.
John.
Hello, everyone.
The draw,
The beast. John. The draw beast, Mortos.
3-man booth.
3-man boot. The A team is here. No gherkins.
We're the hamburger. We're the
hamburger.
double cheeseburger, of which Gherkins ate numerous of them.
You're up in Limerick.
Yeah.
Sure that. He had 3 cheeseburgers.
Double cheeseburgers on the way down to...
From where? From what?
From Barack Obama Plaza.
No, not in terms of looking.
Supermax.
Ah, nice. Okay, great.
He had 3 of them, like.
They're good burgers.
Yeah.
They're solid enough.
Supermax is a fucking tasty old homestead, like, you know.
Yeah, it really is. Like, yeah.
They're not sponsoring us now, so maybe we don't give them too much
We need
credit.
sponsorship. We're the
Pat
49th most
Pat
listened
McDonough,
to.
we know you're listening.
Yeah.
Someone's listening out in Graignamanagh anyway in the Chipper, so
Are they?
if you want to sponsor us.
Sponsors, but
We are the
via
49th
cheeseburgers.
most popular wrestling podcast in the world. Mm-hmm. You with your medals and your trophies. Where's the championship belt?
Will I get as a medal or a trophy for being the 49th most listened to wrestling
No, we want the
podcast?
championship belt.
I don't do championship belts.
Save it. It doesn't count unless we're number one.
I don't do leather. I don't do leather stuff. I'm not into leather.
Figure it out, man. What about demolition?
Not my scene.
You love demolition.
No.
I thought the M in S&M was for Morrow. Shane and Morrow? No.
Yeah, Morrow Shane. Shane and Morrow.
S&M, Shannon Morrow.
There's your tag team name.
There we go.
No old bucks.
No more old
fucking
bucks, no more beefy boys. We are
S&M.
S&M. Just shitty demolition.
Yeah, we
fucking
get
cosplay.
the worst demolition costumes ever.
Here comes the Shane, and here comes the Morrow.
Demolition definitely pulled that off. Remember they tried to do an S&M gimmick then in the 2000s with the Basham brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what's her name?
Shaniqua or...
No, it's DiMaggio.
Was it
That was
Shaniqua?
Danny Basham.
Yeah, Danny Basham was Damaja.
Damaja, that was it.
But I think it was...
What was her name? She was a tough enough contestant.
Yeah, Shaniqua or something, wasn't it?
Straight out of the
She was bringing the boys out on leads anyway,
Yeah.
and the fucking boys were all strapped up.
I hung out-
Not in the good way we were strapped up.
I hung out
Well,
with...
actually,
I hung out with Doug Basham in Kilkenny. Went for pints.
where'd you go for points with Doug Basham and Kenny?
So we were in...
the zoo.
He was in he was in Spring
Leather
Hill.
night in
He had-
the zoo.
he had a match.
Daddy,
one of the worst fucking things in my life. In Spring Hill, we're in... Big Vito bought me a baby Guinness.
Sound.
Yeah, he was actually really nice. And
Was he
then...
wearing a dress?
No.
Did he badmouth Bret Hart?
No. And then we went to O'Foylan's and I had a pint, and then I got a text message to go bouncing, and I was a poor college student, so I left Danny Basham, or Doug Basham, one of the Bashams, to go bouncing in Abercababber. Could have spent the night.
I can't fathom just like
a former cabinet member.
like well-known wrestlers just going around Kilkenny having a few pints. It is enthralling to me.
think he
It's
went
one
to
of your
Langton's.
favourite topics.
It's one of my favourite topics, and it would be like a dream of mine someday to have a pint. I'm still sore about fucking Dunphy there.
DiBiase,
Going
yeah.
out on the pints around Kilkenny with Ted DiBiase.
He just told us
Did we
too
get a
late.
heads up?
No, he told us day off.
I got a heads up, but
fucking
I was in
snake.
Gran Canaria.
Yeah, you were away on your holidays.
Yeah.
That means you didn't give me a Morrow
I
heads
thought
up.
he had a heads up.
No, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't know the
Because he
day.
knows we would have brought the tone down and we would have embarrassed him.
We would have
and
embarrassed
It's
him.
fair enough, but I'm still bitter about it.
I 100% would have embarrassed him.
Like, thinking about Danny Basham just over on O'Failons having a few pints.
Yeah. And then went to Langton's.
Did he actually go to Langton's?
Yeah, he went to Langton's.
I'd say he pulled that night.
With Conor Hurley, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. Conor Hurley.
Was it a Tuesday night Langton's or a Thursday night Langton's?
It could have been a Saturday.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Thursday would have been like the underage.
Well, actually, I just remembered that, yeah.
If I was Doug Basham in Langton's on a Saturday night, circa 2007-8, I'd have pulled.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like in the leather daddy gear
Because
or not.
I nearly pulled as myself. But if I was Doug Basham...
That one night in
that
2007
one
in
thing.
Langton's.
That's so close.
I was part of the cabinet with Orlando Jordan.
That would have worked.
Today we're going to talk about finishers. We talked about wrestling
Has
finishes.
Doug Basham finished?
He did. And some of the
You don't know
best,
that.
some of the worst, what makes a good finisher, what we like, all that kind of good stuff. Does that sound acceptable to you?
Yeah, we decided this 4 minutes ago.
Well, no, like Johnny Morts has a big list. We
Yeah.
still have the entrance theme one. We Insane Royal Rumble was pitched for today, but we thought it'd be a waste of the draw.
Yeah.
Because, like,
We're just shouting names in that
I'm
one.
happy
Yeah.
to shout names. Like, I don't mind.
we also pitched Ultimate Warrior Legacy, but there's a lot of Ultimate Warrior stuff
You're
recently.
mad into the Ultimate Warrior recently. I feel like if I don't know if you can get the metrics on this, but the most mentioned wrestler on this podcast,
you
and I
think?
feel if you did like the last 10 podcasts, it would be Ultimate Warrior.
'Cause I went down
So
the
why do
Ultimate
we need to do
Warrior.
another Ultimate Warrior?
Can we feed that into AI and ask him what's the most mentioned wrestler?
On
Yeah,
the
fuck it,
Wrestling
why
Fan
not?
Wrestling Show.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. But, like, you'll drain the oceans.
Look, the oceans are fucked anyway. It's not our fault.
And it's the Ultimate Warrior's fault.
Fucking is.
I just loved the Ultimate Warrior growing up, and I just find the weirdness between Jim Hellwig and the character just so fascinating.
Well, here's the appropriateness of the Ultimate Warrior in terms of this conversation. When I was a young boy getting into wrestling, and I was obsessed with finishers.
1976.
Back in 1976, back in the territory days.
Absolutely love the figure 4 leg lock.
Jim Hellwig
Man, when
was
I saw an Irish whip for the first time, I lost my shit.
Do you know there's actually... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
On topic in terms of the Warrior, what I will say is that, and also, when you get the Hasbros, which is another episode we will do, when you get the Hasbros, they would allude to maybe some of the finishers. But the Ultimate Warrior, he pressed a lad above his head, dropped him, then did a kind of run back and forth, and then did a splash on a man's back.
Yeah.
As a child, and even now as an adult, that has to be the worst finisher of the classic
think
era. What's worse? I hated it. I
Leg
always hated
drop?
it. The leg
leg
drop was a
drop?
great visual. It was a really good visual. And also, what was key with with Hogan's leg drop is that, his opponent was always at their most prone, and you could see it. And maybe they were just after getting slammed. They were prone. Whereas, but Warriors, it was like they're lying fucking face down. They're pancaked. You can't.
So what if he was on his back then, he splashed him on his belly?
That is an improvement in my mind.
However,
And his Gorilla Press Slam, he didn't really slam it, he just dropped it.
He dropped him.
him,
Yeah. It wasn't the slam aspect. I just think the issue with it as well is he isn't the correct physique for a splash.
Yeah,
As a
I get
finisher.
that. He's not like Mark Henry or...
Yeah.
But like, what were like sleeper holes of the day and
Sleeper holds are
Million Dollar
awesome.
Dream and
deadly.
Roddy Piper,
Million Dollar Dream was
Cobra,
unreal.
or the Sergeant Slaughter had it. Everyone
Bob
seemed to
Backlund,
have the sleeper.
crossface chicken wing.
Crossface
good.
chicken wings, man. Like, it was harder with, I suppose, submission finishers that weren't too visually dynamic back in the day. Now they're way more, like, dynamic. The first time I saw Pac pull out that brutalizer, I was this is a move I probably should have seen 20 years ago. And it is a variation of so many moves we know. But the way that guy does it, and actually the fact that it's called the brutalizer, it just looks vicious. It looks like you're just caught in a fucking straitjacket. Like, it really does look painful. Whereas I did definitely have a bit of disappointment as a child when I saw Roddy Piper doing his sleeper hold, which was pretty fucking lame.
It was, but is that in hindsight?
And that's how
Piper put a lot of welly into it. Wasn't Brutus Beefcake's finisher the sleeper too?
everyone's was.
But Million Dollar Dream was different because it was inverted, and like DiBiase ragdolled those fucking things.
Sergeant Slaughter had the kind of like where he catch your arm and then like put his arm
feed
up
the arm
it as
through
well.
there.
It's funny that you mentioned the Irish Whip though. There is a bit of like lore to that. So it's Dan O'Mahony.
Dan O'Mahony
Dan O'Mahony
in the 1930s was fucking ending lads with an Irish whip.
But do you know what he used to do in the army? He was like the long throw and shot put champion. So it would make sense that his finisher would be to throw
throwing it,
someone.
yeah.
You know? And I was like, holy shit. Because I never understood. I knew that the Irish Whip came from Mahoney. But I didn't know.
Is it Dan O'Mahony?
I thought, no, it's Dano.
Dano O'Mahony.
No, I think it's Dano Mahoney.
That's what I'm saying,
his name
yeah,
is
Dano.
Daniel Mahoney, but I need to
They call him
double-check that.
Dano.
But he's called Dano.
Oh, I always thought he was
Dan
Dano
O'Mahony.
Not like Dan O'Mahony. It's like Dano Mahoney.
I thought it was Dano O'Mahony.
Riveting.
Yeah. That's
But like-
Content. But I was thinking about this on the way down, and I was going like, we're so conditioned now with finishers of yore not being as effective. People don't use them as finishers now because, I don't know, the fucking toothpaste is out of the tube or whatever. I hate that a DDT is used as a transitional move. That's a whole topic in and of itself. But I was like, is there any way anybody could feasibly bring back the Irish Whip as a finisher now?
No.
The Irish
Straight
Whip.
flav, shot down.
The Irish Whip is a hard sell, to be fair now.
Hey, unless the person kept running the ropes and like You know when
claps out of
when
exhaustion.
Homer wins from
Unless you
being.
throw him through the rope so quick that he basically splits in three.
Oh yeah,
There
that'd
you
be
go.
good.
That'd be a great one.
Yeah, like a.
Then it's feasible,
Meeker.
but also your roster's going to get decimated, literally.
Okay, so there's no bringing back the Irish whip as a finisher.
I was explaining to this to a person recently who was trying to come up with a finisher, and I was like, it's not necessarily like the move in itself; it's like how you portray the move. And I used Jake Roberts as an example. I was like, everyone can do a DDT, but Jake Roberts does it differently, and that's why it's important.
I mean, look, the DDT was my favorite finisher when I was a kid. It was definitely the most visually arresting. It looked vicious the way Roberts did it.
Dropped you right in your head.
Dropped you right in your head. It was so devastating back then. You knew guys weren't getting out of it. I hate that it is a transitional move now, and like other guys have co-opted it. I mean, Raven did an amazing DDT. I thought his what was that called again?
Nevermore. Even flow.
Even flow.
Even
Sorry,
flow
the even flow.
originally, and then
Even
Nevermore
flow.
afterwards. Did he change it when he went?
But the even flow DDT looked so different from anyone because he kind of like swept his legs out, and it looked like he and the opponent went crashing down. Whereas like Jake Roberts was really like getting in there, and he just kind of fucking snaps you down to the mat, and he's back up straight away. Great stuff. But yeah, it is a pity when some of those moves that were once completely devastating.
And they get a like evolved. Like then you have like a tornado DDT, and
Remember the Rocks one where he'd run around your
run
back?
around your back, jump around your
over.
back.
Float over these.
Yeah, man, that was a staple of backyard wrestling here in Kilkenny in the
was
fucking
it?
in the early 2000s.
The float over.
But everybody used to love doing like I mean, fucking even in the schoolyard doing the float over. Like,
Yeah,
fucking-
I was more of a chokeslam kind of a guy,
I'm
I
always
was a big kid.
I was double arm DDT.
But like in terms of your finishers,
Classic. Well,
Are you-
that's still a finisher.
It's a great finisher. I don't like Mox's.
Which version?
Yeah, that's what I said. There's two versions. I really like Drew McIntyre's where he wraps his legs around.
It's
him.
amazing. That was his original finisher in before the Claymore, and it looked vicious because he's got that kind of pendulum swing that he does, and it does look vicious.
The funny thing about, to go back to the DDT there, just before we move on, it's mad, like, because Jake was how like, you know, when you think of moves that, like, you know, we're talking about were devastating, and then a few years later a transitional move. It's mad, like, when you look back, because by the late 90s the DDT was a transitional move. But like mid-90s, it was still Jack's finisher.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it was it
happened really quick.
It happened
for
really
that.
fast, but there was still variations of it. If you
Because
were,
everyone can do it though.
like, Gangrel had an amazing one that at least kept it as a strong finisher, but he had to do it in a different way. Yeah, it sucks. It's like, I mean,
Undertaker used to do a running DDT, like he'd run at you.
that looked
and
really
then-
cool.
That was cool as well, yeah.
Maybe it was a case that too many people did it, but the fact that the DDT is used as a transitional move, I mean, if you hit someone with a DDT out there in the street, like, they're fucking toast. I mean, there's at least a concussion going
You'll
on.
probably
there.
hurt yourself too.
And you'll be a bitch yourself.
What
Yeah,
about
probably.
the powerbomb? Do you think that kind of became somewhat of a transitional move?
Well, it is a
I think the
transition.
first time I proper seen it would have been Sid or Diesel.
I specifically remember watching Superstars in like 1991 when Sid had that match, and it was my first time ever seeing a powerbomb, and it was the most simplistic move. But my mind couldn't even comprehend
How
it.
does it
You know,
happen?
sometimes when you see these moves for
Vader
the first
used
time,
to do it in WCW though, didn't he?
Sid was the first one I saw it, and it
Sid was the first I saw as well.
and it blew my mind. It was, and then, you know, obviously then you're fucking, everybody wants to try and see if they can do a powerbomb in school.
Oh, yeah,
but
of
nobody
course.
really can. You need a much smaller
But
child.
like even the evolution of the
You need to go down to
powerbomb,
second class and
You
power
can
on
get
the
a few
shit
second
out of some
classes
kids.
power.
the evolution of the powerbomb for me, like when it like you had the Pearl River plunge, which was like, oh, it was a fast.
Ahmed Johnson's sit out double arm underhook.
yeah, but
I
like
love that.
That's a fucking.
So what
Was the Tiger Driver or the Tiger Bomb, Tiger Driver, Tiger Slam, are they all variations of the Power Bomb? You're a moves guy, Shane. You do wrestling.
I mean, effectively, yeah, I guess so.
I suppose they are, yeah, okay.
What would have happened in the 1930s if Dan O'Mahony had pulled out a powerbomb?
Jesus.
I mean, if they pulled out probably like an armbar back then, people would have been like losing their shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, sure, like a bear hug was a finisher back
A
then.
bear hug, people losing their mind
Yeah,
at
up
a
to
bear
the
hug.
80s, like.
What were you saying about Dan O'Mahony's Irish whip though at the time? Was it actually genuinely devastating?
Well, that was his finisher. I've
Throw
never
him-
like proper
did he
sat
throw
down
him
and
into
watched
the
it.
ropes or the turnbuckles?
I don't
Or
know.
did he just fly him onto the ground?
Turnbuckle would be cool, especially if like you took it the way Brett took it on the
Yeah,
front. They were like that was devastating.
Yeah, Brett took that. I mean, that like it always looked vicious with Brett because he would go chest first into a turnbuckle, which so few wrestlers are willing to do.
Do you prefer impact or like submissions as a finisher? Actually,
Well, I was going to ask this question.
Everybody
about-
should have one each.
Yeah.
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 I think.
I love submissions. But like part of it is sometimes if the match hasn't been built properly, there's a kind of lack of drama with a lot of submissions. Now, like, there's other guys who obviously Kurt Angle created immense drama with the fucking ankle lock, and even now Gunter gets great drama out of the sleeper. Danielson got great drama out of both the cattle mutilation and the label lock. You know, there's certain guys who remember there for a while. Okada was doing the money clip. It was like a camel clutch. I was just like,
or the Undertaker doing that Hell's Gate thing.
hated it.
He finished WrestleMania 24 like with that, didn't he? He used the Hell's Gate.
Against Edge, yeah.
And Edge had what's it called? The
education.
Yeah, like I was like, that didn't
look great.
And it doesn't look good on you either.
I didn't like the Hell's Gate either.
I hate the Hell's Gate.
Yeah.
My finisher in backyard wrestling was I completely about 1990. I remember like specifically the first ever episode I saw of Monday Nitro, and the first match WCW match I'd seen. First Nitro match that I'd seen was Dean Malenko against Rey Mysterio, and Dean Malenko, I mean, there were so many moves he broke out that blew my mind. Like, I was losing my shit during that match. There was like a fucking top rope gourd buster, never seen that. Top rope powerbomb, never seen that. But the fucking piece de resistance for me was the Texas Cloverleaf, which I'd never seen. And I was a huge fan of the sharpshooter. So then I took on the Texas Cloverleaf, which I could never really probably get to any of my friends.
You were the technician of Kilkenny.
I tried to
You were
be
the technician.
I was a huge Malenko fan, but the Cloverleaf was amazing to me.
He made it look so good too.
The reason why I like I like the fucking Future Shock DDT is because I did a variation of that where I did the double arm DDT into a guillotine.
Oh, okay, I like that.
So I had my arms, so boom, double arm DDT, wrap my leg around him, guillotine. Yeah. And that was my backyard wrestling thing.
Oh, I like that.
Let's talk about more instances of when you saw a move for the first time, a finishing move been hit, and it absolutely blew your mind.
F5.
Oh yeah, actually that's one.
That was one where you're just like, how has this not been a move that existed throughout the 90s?
That might be my ultimate, not my favourite finisher ever, but a time when you see a new wrestler come along.
Because he was doing the double powerbomb initially, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
it was like very short span, like he was doing it double powerbomb. Maybe he had the F5.
He debuted with the Hardys night after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I have it in my head that I remember him doing an F5 on one of them. No, that could have been later down the line. Yeah.
But I think he F5 like Maven onto a bin in one of his first
launched him.
But the first like seeing that move and like and the way some people would take it.
Yeah. I have a vision in my head one time of Jeff Hardy like flying out of it. And
the Hardys were
amazing.
Brock Lesnar's first feud. Like, that's how hot they positioned Brock from the start. He debuts, he trucks about fucking 5 lads night after WrestleMania, and then he's put into a feud with both the Hardys. Not like one Hardy.
The Hardys.
The Hardys, yeah.
Wins King of the Ring. What about you? What move for you?
One move that completely blew my fucking mind. And there's a story in this. The first time I saw Christian do what's called the unprettier.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I remember like a couple of days later, wherever with mates, fucking talk about it. Me and my mate Biff, we were talking about that move and we couldn't figure out how the fuck it was done. We spent probably
how you naturally
we
get
spent
into
a lunchtime trying to figure out what the mechanics. Just two young guys, two young schoolboys.
Their back has to be to you, so
just trying to moves on each other. But we're trying to figure out where you put your head. How does the turn happen? How do you end up in that position?
Yeah.
And literally, it was a process of like a couple of weeks of watching like. Seeing, because this was pre-YouTube, you just had to watch the telly. You couldn't go back and watch anything. So we were like, anytime we managed to see Christian do that move, we get another. Okay, no, this turns into that. This is where the head
we didn't have rewind and
there was no rewind. Like we just couldn't figure out how the fuck that was done. But the mechanics of that move were so impressive, and that in itself was a DDT variation.
I always viewed it as just a backwards pedigree.
Yeah, cool.
But I loved the pedigree. I thought the pedigree was such a good move.
Pedigree was pretty fucking awesome the first time you saw it. Remember that? It's a famous clip. I think the jobber is this guy called Marty Garner.
Yes.
Who didn't know how to take the pedigree properly.
Yeah.
He thought because I remember like reading in Power Slam magazine.
This is where his legs end up.
So they referred to, maybe there was confusion at the time because I remember in Power Slam magazine they referred to the pedigree as an inverted pile driver as opposed to a DDT, or as opposed to like fucking anything else. So this guy, Marty Garner, this is an early doors 1995 Hunter Hearst Dempsey pedigree, and he takes it like rather than taking like a DDT, going down flat face or side face,
Front
like
face
a lot of guys
yeah.
go, he just goes right up into the air
and land.
And like Triple H, like if you've seen a pedigree where Triple H has the arms hooked, but the guy who he's pedigree, his legs are like his soles are facing towards the ceiling. It was an insane visual. You couldn't do it.
No.
You couldn't replicate it because
Bar Marty, who was the worst person to take a pedigree? Immediately, I have someone that comes to mind. All right, that's
Ultimate Warrior.
Oh yeah.
well, no. I thought he took it very well. He took
Actually, you know what?
he took it flat.
He buried the move.
And he was wearing a trench coat at the time.
Yeah.
Kane,
Oh,
always on his knees.
yeah.
Always
Always
on
hit
his
the
knees,
knees. That's fair. That's fair.
Some fucking moves during that time though. That's when the scene
dog
like,
shit wrestler.
well, like
Ken.
during the Attitude Era, that's when the moves started to really kind of ramp up,
Innovate.
like.
I remember, and this is the joy of finishers as well, because there's stuff where you go, that looks shit, it doesn't look good, and then you kind of go, oh, maybe but that would work. That would maybe finish a real fight. So maybe it is a good finisher, but it looks kind of dog shit. One guy who I thought was a complete dog shit finisher wrestler for the 90s was Crush. So first of all, you got Kona Crush.
Yeah.
It's a squeeze in the head, which was kind of a cool visual. I love when he did it.
Like
Like
it's a take on Iron Claw.
Take on the Iron Claw.
It's a take on the Iron Claw, but it's two hands, and he's got, I don't know, extra Hawaiian strength, and
He's got big old arms.
His name is Crush.
But I didn't think it was a great finisher. But then when he comes back then in like 95 or 96 as Jailbird Crush, I saw the Heart Punch for the first time.
Oh my god.
And I thought that looked fucking awful.
I forgot about that.
But the thing with the Heart Punch is that what I realized, like I remember, like talking with friends in school about wrestling. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah," like I was talking about how shit the Heart Punch was. Probably it was like, "Oh, great, Crush is back," but like let's see his new shit move. He just kind of punches a guy in the chest. And somebody said, "Oh, that move killed a guy."
Yeah. Well, this was the whole Bruce Lee thing.
Lee, yeah.
But also, well, that's Bruce Lee's one inch punch, but the Heart Punch actually genuine. And then I did like doing some reading into it. Like Ox Baker, who was a big heel in the 70s, he had this match with this guy who was a promoter, Ray Gunkel, right?
Ray Gunkel, famous
This is why we got the draw. He's talking about Ray fucking Gunkel.
Ray Gunkel was.
This is why we're not doing the
Insane Royal Rumble.
because
Ray Gunkel wasn't.
Because he wants to talk about Ray Gunkel and Toots Munn and Monroe guys. But so like Ox Baker and Ray Gunkel, who's the promoter of the promotion, they have a match. Ox Baker's finisher is the Heart Punch. He fucking hits Ray Gunkel with it. Ray Gunkel legitimately dies after the match.
Has a heart attack. Goes into cardiac arrest. And like now he did have some heart issues, but the punch genuinely finished him off. So Ox Baker then for the rest of his career is going around going like, yeah, fucking my move killed someone.
Yeah, which is similar enough to, I remember one of the like big urban legends of wrestling in my when I was like 7 or 8 years old was hearing about and it was completely wrong. It was Chinese whispered into oblivion, but it was I remember hearing giant haystacks. Sat on a guy in the ring, and your man's guts came out of his mouth.
Yeah, that was a famous story. Yeah.
That was the story that was going.
Me and my Ultimate Warrior head, I was like, he's going to mention the two Ultimate Warriors, the one that died.
But what the story actually was a British wrestler who Big Daddy did a splash on.
Shirley Crabtree.
Good old Shirley Crabtree.
You know the names.
The Hulk Hogan of British wrestling. But he did a splash on a guy who, not because of the splash necessarily, but he died straight after the match. Now, it's different because Big Daddy is like, that's like Hulk Hogan killing someone with a leg drop. And it's like, well, Hulk Hogan isn't going to get much mileage of going around going, I killed a lad with me foot. And Big Daddy could, like, if it legitimately was Haystacks, who was mostly a heel, that would have been a great bit of heat for him.
Yeah.
In the same way, Ox Baker got so much fucking heat out of the Heart Punch killing Ray Gunkel back in 1972. You know what I mean? So if you have a finisher that looks dog shit, but it actually has killed a man, maybe, then... Well,
that's what I'm saying. When you build... With my Jake story with the DDT, you build up the perception of the finisher.
Oh yeah, that's more important than anything.
That, like, people pop for the Cobra. You know what I mean? Just the little fucking
Santino Morella's one. Yeah, but the good thing about I tried to like kayfabe fucking Santino Morella's Cobra, but Santino
Tough gig.
Apart from the fact that it is a tough gig, but apart from the fact that we know he's a shooter in real life, blah blah blah, whatever. But like, he does it in such a way where you could just about buy the fact that if you got something that fucking sharp and strong to the throat, in the same way with Solo Sikoa's
people's
finisher.
elbow.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
Your
how.
suspension of disbelief is.
Yeah, I don't know
waning.
however that passed the fucking smell test.
But that's what wrestling is like. When he's about to hit the people's elbow, I remember seeing a thing there. Because no one will know how fucking mind-blowing it was in the SmackDown games where The Rock actually takes off his elbow pad to hit the
throws
people's
it out the
elbow.
crowd.
But when you have a second one, he takes off the other elbow pad. He doesn't do the same animation. I was like, yeah, you're like buzzing for the people's elbow. That's all part of the finish and the pageantry of what wrestling is. It's the anticipation of the move happening as opposed to the
his
move.
rock bottom, which is Uranagi, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Like his version of the Uranagi, the rock bottom,
And he spreads himself out.
looks so cool.
I don't know if anyone had done that move before, but when I first saw The Rock do that in like '97, and again, it's an F5 kind of a thing, or a powerbomb kind of a thing, where you see it for the first time and you go, "That's amazing, but Jesus, like it's so simple."
Yeah.
How did?
But you know,
nobody ever
Samoa
do this
Joe's
before?
version out of the corner,
Which looks vicious.
It fucking looks such a great move.
He doesn't even use that as a finisher.
No. He's
But I kind of hate that with The Rock when he stopped using the rock bottom as a fit. But he always used it as it was. You know, he had a couple of finishers, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I much preferred seeing him finish a match with that rather than the fucking people's elbow.
What do you think of people that had a couple of finishers? I
love it.
Like Jericho had he had the code breaker, he had the line salt, he had the line tamer,
was
which
going
became
to
the Walls
get
of
to the
Jericho.
Judas effect in
the
recent years.
Judas effect, yeah.
What-
He tried a double powerbomb for a while.
But also, it's still what I really love about Jericho's approach to finishers. A couple of wrestlers have done it, but like I feel like more wrestlers should. Is that when you go like through the trajectory of your career, you go, "This is the finisher I need for my speed, size, weight, whatever." At this time, you know,
That's why the Judas effect made so much sense.
because he's an older guy and he's working in Japan and he's
Yeah,
going.
remember
Actually,
the first time he used the Judas effect? I was like, "That's his new finisher." And within about 3 months, I was like, "What a fucking finisher!"
when he was breaking it out for the first time in AEW as well, I was going, Jesus, they made it look devastating.
Yeah.
And he made it look, and it completely works.
Yeah.
And you go, man, that's an amazing finisher because he's not putting a lot of wear and tear in his body with that. No. He's made it look vicious. And they've also, and this is crucial with finishers, built up the mystique of the finisher.
He finishes people with
It fucking finishes people. Yeah.
Because I was going to bring up kind of like in terms of the Walls of Jericho being an evolution of a Boston Crab, but how fucking awesome it looks when he puts the knee on the back.
Yeah, well, that's the line tamer.
So
So
the Walls of Jericho is just a crab.
It's
and
pretty
the
much
line
just a
tamer-
Boston Crab, or like a high-angled one.
I think they're kind of the same. I just think the reason they changed is because when Jericho got to WWE, he was not working with smaller guys anymore, which he had kind of been for a lot of his WCW, ECW, even Japan.
You try to get that on the Big Show.
You can't get that on the Big Show. You can't get it even on Triple H or The Rock. You know, and like I remember seeing like Power Slam magazine 1995, and there was this image of Jericho. It was during his rundown in War in Japan.
Yeah.
And he had Ultimo Dragon in the line tamer as it was time. But his head is his knee is on Dragon's head.
Neck.
And like fuck and he like Dragon is just he's been pulled upwards. It's not like, you know, your legs are being pulled back. Like you are all of your body is in the air apart from your head.
Yeah.
And you're being held into position. And it looks so vicious. I remember they had it on the WCW versus the World game. I think back in the day on the PlayStation.
It's terrible.
But Boston Crab to me was like, oh, you know, that was Rick Martel's finisher in WWF. And it looked kind of sore. And then when you do it on your friends and they do it on you, you'd be in bits. It wasn't quite as sore as a sharpshooter or a figure four in real life. But, you know, Boston Crab would do it. But then when you see the Jericho version of it, it genuinely looked crippling.
Yeah.
Big Show had a few finishes. He had the WMD, the choke slam.
WMD's the punch, right?
That's the punch, yeah.
That was my favourite, I think.
But my thing is, like, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Like,
That
it's a
annoyed
closed
me.
fist. You punch it in the face.
that's true as well.
The alley oop, remember that one? What the fuck is it? Was like the power bomb where you get them up and then you throw them behind you and they land on their face.
I remember seeing that crop up. I hadn't seen it in the ring, and I saw it on one of the WWE PlayStation games, and I thought it was one of the dumbest fucking moves I've ever seen in my life.
dumb. He had that kind of leg drop thing. Do you remember that where he like sat like?
Why is a man his size doing leg drops?
But no, but he
Never leave your feet.
He kind of held you and put his leg over you and then dropped the leg on you.
Kind of just sat into it. Right?
Yeah, and they were standing and he leg dropped you.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, terrible collection of finishers.
But like if you turn them around as opposed to the leg drop happening here, you get the Faymaster, which was class.
Yeah.
It's the psychology of finishers really is the thing, and I do think like with people who cycle through a couple of finishers, I think the logic of like being at a different stage of your life or your abilities or whatever the case may be causes you to go, I can't do that finisher anymore.
Yeah, but you think
I used to do a mean fucking. I used to do a mean frog splash when I was 17. Couldn't fucking
like Osprey with the Oscar.
Yeah,
and then he got bigger and stronger, and he upgraded his finishers time and time again.
That's perfect. Like I don't want to see
the Hidden Blade is great.
Like Hidden Blade is fantastic finisher.
Like Javon Evans, like I watched that, which again, it's just about kind of
good wrestler.
Encroaching the just your suspension of disbelief a little bit. But what's that like that OG cutter he does, which looks fucking spectacular. But you're kind of going, would you finish someone with that? And he's actually done just a good enough job of making you go, yeah, maybe. But I don't think that dude is going to be feasibly doing that move, or should be doing that move.
He's
in
very
his
young,
30s.
but like 6-7 years, probably not.
But he shouldn't need to at that point.
No.
But when you're young and you're a whippet and you're really quick, that's an amazing like catch your opponent by surprise finisher.
I really like that kind of thing about you're talking about like speed, body, all that. And I think Osprey is a really good example because you go from the Os cutter, the fucking up in the air Javon Evans type thing. Then he does the Stormbreaker. He put on some bulk, so now he can lift the guy above his head, and then he comes into the fucking Os cutter.
Well, I didn't like with Stormbreaker. It was the same setup for the Tiger driver thing.
But see, that only became a problem was when he started using the Tiger driver.
Well, like they built them. It's like the pile driver in WWF now. You hit someone with a pile driver, you're like, oh, but that's meant to be. But you see pile drivers all the time. But in their world, they've built that up.
I'm really glad that they've like rebuilt the mystique of the pile driver. I think out of all of the wrestling moves, the pile driver is the perfect one to be like, that's the banned move. It is the one where we've seen careers end because of it. We've seen what botched pile drivers look like and what they can do to people's necks. So that is much like the hard punch, that is a legitimately dangerous move that has inbuilt
saw Stone Cold's neck getting broken.
Yeah, and I think like to let that become this odd transitional move that like
everyone was doing that.
Like even the
absolute shit lads just doing like pile drivers mid match, and I'm so glad WWE have brought the mystique back and started to protect that.
Penta is pretty much doing a pile driver with his Mexican Destroyer. That's a pile driver.
They started to let Kevin Owens. But no, like I love that they waited until Kevin Owens' last heel turn to bring it back, because when he started doing package pile drivers for the first time, it fucking meant something. You know what I mean? And like I do like when wrestlers retire a finisher and they haven't seen it in ages, and then you lose your mind when it's brought up. Like Bryan Danielson, who went his entire like WWE tenure without doing cattle mutilation, and then he brought it back in AEW. And I tell you,
remember that first time seeing the cattle mutilation?
I lost my shit. I saw
haven't seen it in 10 years.
I saw it in the magazine. I saw him doing that in Ring of Honor, and I was like, looked at the move, and it looked fucking vicious. And then I see that the move is called cattle mutilation.
Yeah, what a name!
I was like, what?
He's a vegan.
And of course he didn't do it when he landed in WWE, and I couldn't wait to see him do it. And then it was the same thing. Like I lost my shit when fucking CM Punk brought back the Pepsi Plunge in AEW. It was just great to see it, and I love when people, go deep into their bag of tricks.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing, because we were talking kind of before going on air about Uber finishers,
and that's why we brought up the Tiger.
Yeah,
Tiger Driver is the contemporary Uber finisher. I feel. I
think it is now. Yeah.
It is the equivalent of what the Burning Hammer would have been.
You brought up the Burning Hammer, and when you're talking about great finishers, the original Burning Hammer has to be like. In terms of like impactful, like
Trent is the Burning Hammer now.
Yeah, and like, but so does LA Knight. I saw fucking LA Knight throw it out randomly a couple of weeks ago on fucking Raw, and Corey Graves was like,
Burning Hammer.
He's like, Burning Hammer. No one ever kicks out of that, and you're going like, well, they will fucking now because you're throwing them out every so often.
It's a transitional move.
I mean,
the Burning Hammer.
In terms
was used
of
7 times by Kobashi.
Exactly. In terms of the storytelling, right, and I love that as the framing for a finish. I think it's just beautiful storytelling, and I wish there was way more thought put into finishers in story terms like that. The fact that you got a wrestler who's one of the top guys, and he's got this move that he does well, but he is afraid of how dangerous that move is. So he's so reluctant to do it, to the point where over a 20, 30 year career, he breaks that move out only 7 times.
Yeah. And the weird thing was, 4 of the 7 was on Misawa.
For Kobashi, no wonder Misawa fucking died.
Well, yeah. The first one he does on Misawa is horrific looking.
Like, I remember first time seeing Burning Hammer and just been like, how do you not die? How do you take that move?
But the funny thing about it is the actual Burning Hammer, I think he really only used that 5 times, because towards the end maybe 4 times, because the last couple of times he did it, when he did it on Kenta and Taue in Noah,
post his peak.
Probably in his peak when he was doing that mad title reign. He changed the move slightly where he kind of grabs your wrist as part of it and spins you over more, so you're not landing on your dome. So really that original Burning Hammer, he
like
only
a
used
reverse Death Valley driver.
Yeah, more like that. Like the last 2 times he did it, Kenta and Taue, he turned them over more. But the 4 or so, the Akiyama one is horrific looking, and the all the ones of Masawa are horrific looking.
Probably contributed eventually to his death.
That's
why it's so galling to look at a random mid-card match in a fucking episode of Raw. And LA Knight does a fine Burning Hammer, and I love it. But I wish LA Knight used it like
That's his finisher.
like Kenta Kobashi used it, going, okay, I'm only going to pull this out when I'm absolutely desperate, because I know what might kill a guy.
Is the Tiger Driver the only real one now?
Yeah, because.
What's an Uber finisher now?
What I think it is, because Ospreay's thing with the Tiger Driver is he's going, I'm so reluctant to do this move because it's so dangerous. And remember when he did that? Who did he do to? Danielson?
Well, Kenny the first time, and then Danielson.
And I legit went, oh fuck.
Ospreay, it looked insanely vicious.
The Omega one, the original one on Omega, the Danielson one looked a bit safer, and then he did it on MJF as well. So he's used it 3 times, and that's over the course of 4 years.
That's getting back to that kind of Kobashi Burning Hammer level of protecting the finisher.
Did he get done on him by Fletcher?
Yes, and horrific as well. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I love that wrestlers. There's certain wrestlers who have moves in their pocket where they're really in kayfabe.
Randy Orton's punt.
Great one, great call,
and really well protected. That's one of the most protected finishers, I think, of the modern era. Certainly in WWE. I mean, the most protected finisher of all time, I still think to this day, is probably still the Iron Claw. Nobody ever fucking kicks out that motherfucker when one of the Von Erich boys puts it on. Nobody's getting out of it. So that's been and it gets such a pop now that you're going this move has actually been so over for 40 years.
Yeah, true.
And the punt as well has that. It's what's rare is wonderful, because Randy every so often Randy will kind of tee up the punt. And he won't do it. But the fact that he has that there.
But any time now in recent years where he's gone into that position for it,
the
crowd still pops.
But you see, my problem with the punt is that they kind of, and it's the same when they did the apron powerbomb with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Is that when they first do it, it's so devastating. Like Sami Zayn gets written off for ages, or the person's out for ages with a concussion after taking the punt, and then the time that they're out kind of gets a bit less, and then eventually they show up on the show next week. Whereas, if they're doing that, they should
always be 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it should be written out
and or it could be even you do it a few times where a guy is gone for 2 months, and then if you're trying to get some badass over, he shows back up after 3 weeks.
But then they're they do the apron powerbomb in a lot of main events now, you know what I mean? Whereas when initially it was done to Sammy, it was
in NXT the time.
Oh,
that was unbelievable.
And he was written off for ages, and then he had a big comeback.
And also, we just hadn't seen that in WWE. We hadn't seen someone take
now they were probably doing it to each other 5 times a match in Ring of Honor.
Easily.
But
PWG 10 times a match.
The 3D was a pretty protected finish as well. I think there was only one proper kick out for 15 years from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Probably the Undertaker, was it?
Probably. Triple H when he pulling an Ultimate Warrior.
One Winged Angel's only been kicked out of once.
That's the joy of wrestling. I think now, the fact that the fact that there are finishers now again that are protected in that way, it adds so many storyline stakes. There should be more of them. There should be more moves that people are afraid to do because of what they'll do to their opponent.
But you look at Cena and the AA, he's hitting super AAs and avalanche AAs, and he has to hit 17 of them in the match.
Cena's the worst mainstream. He's the worst biggest star. He's the worst headliner wrestler in terms of finishers. He took the Death Valley Driver, which is an objectively amazing, fucking innovative, devastating looking move. He made it look like absolute shit. Took the STF, which... I remember the first time seeing fucking Masachono break out the STF and going, oh my god, this
guy's head is getting
this is the ultimate submission. This is the fucking death knell move. There's no getting out of it.
You can't get out of it, and your head's getting ripped off, and your knee's getting twisted inside out.
But Cena doesn't.
And you're looking at Cena doing it where he's barely he's barely fucking glancing someone's face. There's so much room.
Imagine because he's a fucking jacked dude. Imagine his forearms just popping.
It's like John, just
he's trying to pull your head off.
Just like
fucking amazing.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I know it's a fucking fucking whack analogy, but like it's like it'd be like doing a fucking stage kiss where everybody can clearly see that your lips aren't meeting.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, okay, you're pantomiming, but this is, we don't need this.
But I've
you know
come to a pantomime, so it's fine.
It's Romeo and Juliet, like just fucking kiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're looking at fucking John Cena doing these moves that are finishing matches, and you can see the space and the distance between where his arms are at and where his opponent's head are at. And your suspension of disbelief.
The finishing spam, like the spam in like, especially towards the latter years, and Cody's getting a bit of it as well.
He's fucking
Like
jumped the shark on
you hit
finishing
you hit the crossroads, and you're like, well, they're going to kick out.
Well, like there was some.
Yeah, well, remember, and then it became you had to hit 3 crossroads.
I seen a match like recently enough, within like the last couple of years. Cody was against someone in the mid card. He was defending his title or something against someone who was like, fuck, I can't remember who it was, but it was someone like a mid card guy that Cody was wrestling on TV or on a Saturday Night's Main Event or something. And like the guy was kicking out the crossroads.
Obafemi?
Wasn't Obafemi. It was before that. It might have been like fucking Solo Sikoa or someone, right?
Mello.
Or like whoever. And like, I was like, why is a mid card guy kicking out the crossroads? He's doing 3 crossroads on him now. And a mid-card guy. That was a WrestleMania. He only started doing 3 crossroads because it was WrestleMania against Reigns.
That can't become a formula. You're so fucked if that becomes a formula.
But that's what he
like,
did.
yeah,
He
but
did
like,
it to himself.
The finisher spam of like Lesnar and Goldberg was great the first time you see it. And
was
then
amazing.
And then it becomes like...
the match was 5 minutes long in its entirety.
Then it becomes like, oh, fuck, now we're getting a finisher spam. Like, they're starting off with a finisher and there's going to be 15 of them. Like, I like the idea of like the finisher being the final thing that you have to do to like finish the match.
And that's the thing, and I love the logic of like you as a wrestler going, I need to pick a finisher that even if I'm so tired, if I've had a 30-minute match, I can still feasibly do my finisher.
Yeah,
that it's not beyond me to pull off.
I remember watching a Danielson match. I don't even remember if it was Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson or what, where he teased that this is going to be a finisher spam type of match, where the match started and he just sprinted across the ring and did the knee.
Oh yeah.
Was it the Mania match with Kofi Kingston?
I can't remember.
I can't fucking remember.
I feel like he maybe did that. Did he do that against Brock as well? I'm not sure.
Yes,
but like I do, and it comes back to the logic of having multiple finishers as well. Because obviously, like if you're taking it as real and you want to suspend your disbelief, you go, okay, these guys watch tape on each other and they look at each other's, at their styles and their strategies and their moves. So you go, okay, this guy does a particular finisher. You got Shinsuke Nakamura. And he's doing the fucking Kinshasa, so I'm gonna work over his right leg for the match, so he can't do that. Yeah. And then Shinsuke has to come up with another finisher.
And if you're Jericho, you go, well, if I work the right knee, that means I'm going to be able to lock in the walls of Jericho, which is going to take away his finisher and enhance mine.
Yeah, I went in the build up to Wrestle Kingdom this year. I went back and watched not the whole Tanahashi Okada feud, but just their 3 Wrestle Kingdom matches. I think it was Wrestle Kingdom 9 where Tanahashi has figured out that if he starts doing loads of what's that knee thing he does? Twist the knee.
Oh yeah. The Snapdragon. No, not Snapdragon. Where he has the knee and he twists. Yeah. And screwdriver, corkscrew.
Something like that. Something like that. Well, someone leave the thing in the comments. And he realizes that if he fucks up Okada's right knee, Okada has no fucking leverage to do the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
So he spends the whole match just going fucking mad after the knee.
That's the logic that you want.
Okada tries to do the Rainmaker. He's just like, I can't push off my back leg. Like that kind of shit now.
I mean, it's so logical and makes so much more sense. And I wish more, particularly US matches, particularly WWE matches, AEW do a good job of it, but WWE don't really, as you said, it's pure spam, and the strategy is often overlooked. They do it sometimes, but not really enough.
A move that I think is
just spam,
the spear.
Look, here's the thing with spear, right? The spear could be an unbelievable finishing move.
It was.
The spear was an unbelievable finishing move when Rhino did it and no one else.
Goldberg?
Goldberg, maybe a little, but also it just looked. I mean, it was great when he's trucking lads, but then you're like, oh, he's really trucking lads, and it's not as cool.
And Rhino's Rhino,
fucking truck him.
For ages, I never even considered Rhino's spear to be a spear because it was the gore.
Yeah,
you know, like at least it was a different. But then Edge started using it. I was like, you don't have the heft to do that.
I don't know what.
The Usos,
it was a terrible idea for
like
Edge.
Braun Breaker.
Edge should never have had that. Braun Breaker has completely restored credibility to that move.
Yeah, Braun Breaker.
Edge took a lot away from it, and he still does.
Look at Braun Breaker, the Usos. Like watching Jey Uso doing a spear is painful.
I liked Bobby Lashley's spear because he did the little flip.
Because he's a fucking beast. You know what I mean? If I was going to go wrestle right now, I ain't going to do a spear because. What fucking use is my spear going to be?
Yeah,
I'm going to be sizing lads up for Texas Cloverleafs.
I'm going to try and kick you in the dick. That's what I'm going to try and do.
But he's like you said, Shane, I was really interested actually. Like I was thinking about like the punt, and you know, then you're talking about Big Show's WMD, and like, yeah, I hate the finishes that are like a full force punch to the face or a full force kick to the head.
Can I ask you? I was going to bring up this point because it's really only in recent years that strikes have become finishes. So you have the Kinshasa, or what's he call it now?
No, it is Kinshasa now. It used to be Bombay or Boombaye.
So you have the Kinshasa, you've got Danielson's Psycho knee, which was Marufuji beforehand. You've got the hidden blade, you've got Judas the Claymore, effect. The Judas effect. Like it really became prevalent. It's probably Marufuji started it with the Psycho knee. And, you know, then it's kind of spread through American independent wrestling.
What was Sweet Chin Music?
So I suppose, Sweet Chin Music, actually. I totally forgot
but
about
the thing
that.
With,
my bad.
Yes, it is your bad.
The thing with a lot of those finishes you're talking about is I would perceive them to be very strategically striking certain parts of the body in order to put someone down, rather than the more kind of MMA like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like you had like Clothesline from Hell. That was wrong. You had Test
is
Big
that a strike?
Yeah.
Is Stan Hansen's lariat a strike?
I would say so.
Fuck it is.
Yeah, like
you know what about that have you got?
Fuck you would. That couldn't see, so he just swung.
He was just swinging lads.
Test Big Boo. You have Sheamus's fucking
but also
bicycle
the
kick.
thing with Test Big Boo, like this is why the things are different because it's all about placement. Like the soul of Test's boot is he's gonna try and hit you in the side of his face. Can't believe we're talking about Test. Whereas like Orton's thing it's just like it's a running. It's a move you would use to kill someone if you're in a street fight.
Yeah.
If you were that kind of person, if
you're hitting with your lace, your
soccer kick. It's a soccer kick.
It's not like the thing with Sweet Chin Music was Shawn Michaels is placing that right under the chin. It's a strike that's not intended to cause damage.
It's a knockout shot.
But it's a knockout shot.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. Like, that was the same with, I hate the Big Show's WMD. It looked vicious, but you're just going like, yeah, it's a full force fucking punch.
What was Sean's move before the Sweet Chin? Was it a neck breaker?
It was called the teardrop suplex.
That's what it was.
And it was a really neat looking kind of draping back suplex. A move that would not be used as a finisher nowadays. Even in 1992 when he broke it out for the first time, I remember going like, that's just like a normal back suplex, which even in that era was well established as a transitional move as opposed to a finisher.
The perfect plex was perfect.
Perfect plex was an amazing finisher.
So perfect.
Again, that what moves need to be reprotected?
I mean, Brainbuster.
Brainbuster definitely. DDT needs
Brainbuster is just a suplex nowadays.
I'd love the German as well.
I think Brock restored a lot.
I think he did restore
the fact that he was doing 25 in a match.
Yeah, but also like
I think that had logic in it.
And also much like the pile driver, the German suplex had a degree of notoriety as well. Wasn't that the move that Benoit broke Sabu's neck with?
Yeah.
So like moves that
and Regal broke his own neck with.
Regal broke his own neck with in WCW. Yeah,
he was trying to do the bridging one.
So I think if you have moves. Again, going back to the hair punch, but if you have moves that have a bit of notoriety behind them, they should be protected.
Like, did you ever see Kento Miyahara doing the straight jacket suplex?
No. He does nuts, yeah, where he catches the two
arms.
Oh, yeah.
Does the straight jacket German into a bridge. Chain.
Fucking hell, yeah.
But I love that move because the thing about that is like, if there's so much drama with him putting it on.
Like, can you get it on?
Lads fighting out of it.
Yeah.
Like.
I think the code red needs to be protected.
What's code red?
It's when fucking Dustin Rhodes started doing it,
Are we getting into destroyers?
And John Cena started doing it. And fucking Roxanne Perez does it now. And that was a really cool fucking...
It's like a destroyer, but you land on your upper back.
It's a powerbomb, like, almost.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't it mad in the space? I remember the first time, like, watching TNA and seeing Pete Williams break out a Canadian destroyer. And I went, even at that point, going, I cannot believe that move exists. And it looks so vicious and actually looks logical.
People didn't like it at the time, though.
Well, I can understand why because it kind of defies disbelief. And I think certain guys, I think Pete Williams did a good job of it, make it seem logical that you can do that move on someone with such speed and strength that their momentum spikes them.
But see, like, the Panama Sunrise was just dog shit.
But that's a move that you've invented that is state of the fucking art in the early 2000s. Should be protected, and
now they're doing it on aprons, and then they're doing it. Adam Cole's doing it.
Like you see, Penta breaks it out about 5 times a match.
The first time I seen Michelle McCool do the Styles Clash,
I thought she did a decent job.
Yeah, but I was like,
it was egregious.
It's called the Styles Clash. It was AJ Styles' fucking. The first time I seen the Styles Clash.
The first time you see Styles do the Styles Clash, your mind is blown as well. Such a great finish.
Amazing finisher.
The best Code Red I ever seen was the Hurricane Rana that El Generico tried to do to Cesaro at the time. And it turned into a Hurricane Rana into like a Code Red, and it was just so fluid. You were like, holy fuck.
Yeah, those two.
Like Cesaro should really use his when he throws you up in the air and does the uppercut. That's your finish.
Man, that swing is great though. I know he doesn't finish people with the swing. That's kind of like the Dan O'Malley move of. Back in the fucking 30s, Cesaro would have been the fucking biggest draw in the world if he was doing that swing.
Like that
100%. Swing and Hackenschmidt and gotcha all the way through the place. Imagine that in a ring with no ropes.
It's Cesaro there. He'd be selling out fucking stadiums in Greece with Jim Landis.
I don't know if I said, but Lou Thesz thought Harley Race was killing the business with Harley Race's style, with like diving headbutts and shit.
Yeah.
The neutralizer I hated as a finish for Cesaro. You know the way where he catches it, and it's like a Styles Clash, and then Matt Riddle did the reverse of that.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
What I liked about the neutralizer was that Cesaro always made it look difficult to get on, which always and he never like really got guys up fully. He'd always kind of get them up halfway and then plant them. So at least he made it look realistic. But yeah, not the best move. Not as good as like swinging someone into the fucking 6th row and killing them.
Favorite top rope move.
I'm a huge fan of the frog splash.
Yeah,
that is. When I first saw...
I like the money splash. Val Venus.
Oh, I love that too.
That was called... Wasn't
or the money shot.
The money shot. That was called the cum shot. But might as well have been. I remember like the first time I saw a frog splash was Eddie Guerrero in WCW, and I lost my fucking mind. And then I went to see Rob Van Dam do a version of it that was completely different, but just as spectacular. And then I saw the best frog splash of all time, which is D'Lo Brown.
Yeah. I knew it.
But again, talking about like the
lads who fuck people up in the ring with their finishers, D'Lo Brown.
That guy went from being like this job's worth in national domination to a point where in mid 1998, with the chest protector that he wore, he was conceivably able to finish off like Dan Severn and fucking like Ken Shamrock and
have the European and Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
but. I mean, I know it was the chest protector that did a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the mystique of D'Lo's frog splash, but D'Lo's frog splash looked fucking amazing.
The way like he got his legs out. And
I remember like trying to do frog splashes when I was young and like could never pull off the Eddie one, could never pull off the RVD one, but the D'Lo one was surprisingly manageable to do. But also looked fucking devastating.
Like, there's so many people use the frog splash now. That's terrible.
Draws.
Oh yeah.
Like if you were talking about Ox Baker.
But that comes back to that thing when we were talking about all these moves that were such protective finishers in the early 90s, the DDTs, the powerbombs, the pile drivers, and then the late Attitude Era, multiple people are doing multiple variations of them. Like if you look at the Brood, again going back to the Unprettier and Edge's implant DDT and Gangrel's implant DDT, was it called? Well, no, Edge's wasn't called the implant. Anyway, you got a whole faction where all three of them are doing fucking DDT finishers. And then you have multiple people doing like
choke slams.
Multiple people, you know, and it's like the next version of the move. And with a powerbomb, it's like, why is a guy like the size of D'Lo Brown doing a running powerbomb in the fucking first place?
Yeah.
Poor old Darren Drozdov. Like, I know it wasn't entirely D'Lo. It was a flash of moment. It was a bit of bad timing.
Like, just so I can get at least one bit of bad mountain on here today, right?
Bill fucking Goldberg.
Seth Rollins' shitty ass curb stomp.
I was going to suggest a curb stomp as like that's a street fighting move that you like. When I saw that first in wrestling, I was like, oh, you know, similar to the puncher. Like, is this actually a wrestling move? It's not. in principle, the worst move you could do. But he doesn't. He does it so lightly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could be a deadly move. But you know, sometimes Mox does it. Like,
Remember that? Yeah,
when Mox breaks it out, he's like going fucking stamping on your head.
He makes it look like that, which is good. You know, I mean, Mox kind of was the guy who single-handedly ruined the fucking tope in WWE. Like, when his Dean Ambrose's running push.
Yeah, that was so shit.
The stomp should be vicious, and it is like
he just seems it's so fucking you pillow fighting here, like.
Like if you're going up against an opponent who's trying to curb stomp you, your priority there is to try and like fall in the least damaging way to yourself. Yeah. If you get caught with that, if you're not,
or do what Randy Orton did and push him up and catch him in an RKO.
Yeah, I mean it was worth it for that finisher. And like remember RVD took one back in like when he had his brief comeback run in 2014.
Yeah,
and he took an insane fucking
right on his head.
Tell me this now, right?
I like the curb stomp.
I like the idea of the move. I just think, and it's weird. Joe and Rollins first started using that like 10 years ago. He made it look much more vicious than he does now.
Because he nearly killed Sting, so I don't know, maybe he's a bit fucking...
That was a turnbuckle bomb.
Tell me this now, what's your take on the RKO out of nowhere? I know people love that.
It's becoming a meme, but it is. I think it's the greatest finisher move of all time.
Man, I think one of the greatest things that happened for US offense in the mid-90s was when cutters became introduced. And I know people will fight about, you know, there's that whole story with DDP and Triple H where Triple H landed into WWF in 95. He just left WCW and he decided he was going to do the cutter, which according to DDP,
because the man never had an original.
Well, of course he didn't. But DDP had to ring him up and be like, bro, that's my finish. Can you not use it? And Triple H, to his credit, was like, yeah, no, I'll find something else.
And then Austin pretty much started doing that.
Then Austin did more of the guy who apparently invented the move overall.
Michael Hayes.
Johnny Ace.
Was it? But Michael Hayes Michael Hayes gave him the cut.
It was called the Ace Crusher in all Japan. But that was Jesus. Johnny Ace is hard.
Michael Hayes gave him the stunner though. Told him to start doing the stunner.
Did Michael Hayes use it?
I don't know.
Johnny Ace used it to great success in all Japan. The only success he ever really had in all Japan.
He had a good run there.
He had a decent run for
the dirty pervert
piece of shit that he is. But that came back then. Like DDP feels like the first person who used a variation of it.
He did so, and like that was the original out of nowhere because he would hit that out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah,
like you could be in any position and he'll get you in the diamond cutter.
See, here's my thing. When I know it sound like I don't like I think the RKO is an amazing move, and I think one of my issues with the out of nowhere aspect of it isn't that it's become a meme. It's that ones like when he did on Rollins with the stomp, and
the Evan Bourne
one. To me, they were out of nowhere. But so many of more recent ones are camera tricks.
Man, no, well, not even camera tricks. They did it. He did two the other day. I think one to Trick Williams, one to Miz, and he was standing behind like Miz for ages. And then when he did it to Trick, or when he did whoever it was, he did it, and Michael Cole went RKO out of nowhere. Then he did it again, and it was RKO out of nowhere by Corey Graves. And I was like,
everyone
it wasn't
anticipating it.
It wasn't out of nowhere.
See, I don't mind like I said, those ones, the Evan Bourne one, the Seth Rollins one, they were brilliant, and they were like a mad reversal out of nowhere. But like when they have to do a close-up shot of a guy running across the ring and then the wide angle of Randy as if Randy appeared out of nowhere. No, that was camera.
The one on Logan Paul was great. Elimination Chamber.
Trying to think of that one.
He just literally but from our perspective, because the commentators are saying it's out of nowhere because they're watching the monitor, so it's from their perspective. So it is out of nowhere.
The best stunner / cutter out of nowhere in wrestling at the moment, I think, is Orange Cassidy's, and I will say this as this is just my opinion, the worst named move in the history of professional wrestling. Every time I fucking hear it, I kind of gag a little. The Stundog Millionaire.
Oh, jeez.
Which is the worst wrestling move name ever.
It's like the suplex into the...
But I love the fact that
it comes from a load of different...
It comes from a load of different positions, and it always looks really effective, and it's a stunner as a reversal. And I think that's great.
It's always a desperation move for him.
Always, yeah.
Like he's never in a position to go for a pin
Why
after.
Why can't they just call it something else?
Sorry, Mark, we never got your top rope move.
Macho Man elbow
drop.
Especially in his later years when he stopped landing on his own hip.
Yeah.
And just started fucking dropping it.
You do realise when you hear those stories of like fucking, was it Danny Davis getting his lung punctured, and there's a couple of other boys. Like Randy was really driving that elbow into boys.
That's one of the reasons.
Sure, talk about drive like fucking the bonsai drop. I know it's not top rope, but fucking hell from Yoko.
High fly flow as well. Tanahashi's version of the Frog Splash is cool.
I remember
the one because he does to the outside when you're standing. That's fucking awesome.
The first time I seen Billy Kidman do the shooting star press.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm so glad you brought this. If this episode got that was my first time seeing a shooting star press.
Unbelievable.
Still the best shooting star press. And what I always loved about Billy Kidman's
it didn't always look fluid, but
it didn't. But what I loved about it and what really popped that fucking move for me, and like. He couldn't retain it when he went to WWE, but because of his kind of like Ravens flock, slacker, disaffected youth type character, I used to love the way he would just get
reckless youth.
He'd get up to the top of the rope so lazily, and he would just like not look like he gave a shit. He wasn't about positioning himself, but Billy Kidman would he'd land on top rope and then just do the fucking shooting star and land kind of right down, and it looked kind of weird and sloppy, but it was so fucking effective.
Perfect for him.
And it didn't look like a move a guy was really strategically trying to do. It looked like a guy who was kind of maybe vaguely suicidal, who was just gonna fucking
I'm
flip
gonna
himself up
throw
in the air
myself
and
at
throw
it, yeah.
And that was an amazing move to see for the first time.
What's your favourite submission move then?
I really like the guillotine until like Rain started using it a lot. And then I realized actually you don't get a lot of drama in that because you can't see the face. I like the ankle lock. I think from Kurt and Kane.
I think that kind of the sharpshooter is always mine.
Figure 4 as well is great.
I just love when because there's 2 stages of the ankle lock where he's standing and then you have the grapevine
and the grapevine. And
you're like, oh wow.
I think it's probably the ankle lock for me. There's some over the years. There's been some great attempts at kind of making the armbar look badass. But I don't think anyone. I think there's someone.
I think Becky does it, and it wasn't MJF had it for a while.
Ronda had it.
I really liked the Kimura for a long time actually. When
Kimura's
Brock
cool.
started doing it, it looked like he was snapping lads' arms.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, I think it's the illusion of limbs being bent and twisted, and like that's essential to good submission moves.
You find that shoot style wrestling that Funaki and Suzuki and all used to do in the 90s. You see some really cool arm bars there, but they've never nobody's ever nailed it in mainstream wrestling, and I think someone will come along with a sick armbar.
Would you classify the mandible claws as a submission move? No one really tapped out to that, did they?
That was one of those ones where, again, I'm talking about hanging out with all your friends in the 90s trying out moves on each other. But the point at which boys started trying out mandible claws on each other,
I don't need my friends' hands down.
That was with dirty socks and everything. That was a fucking eye opener because that really fucking hurt. That muscle under your tongue is so sensitive, and when anyone drives their fingers in there, so that I remember seeing that move for the first time when Mick Foley, Mankind debuted on Monday Night Raw, and then Bob Holly was foaming at the mouth afterward, and he sold the fuck out of it. And you go, is that really sore? And then you fucking.
What do you think of Britt Baker's version?
Yeah, it's a nice evolution of it. I wasn't a big fan of Bray's version, but I love the Sister Abigail.
Sister Abigail is cool, very cool.
Submission move. Here's the thing, right? Look at
what's your favorite submission?
Sharpshooter, I think. Yeah. But also, one move I always look at, and I'm going, how has that never been a finisher? Surely the hardest fucking submission move and the most painful submission move to get out of is the Mexican surfboard.
Oh yeah.
How do you get out of that?
Fatigue of the guy on the bottom.
It's fatigue on the guy on the bottom. It has to be done.
You just have to last long enough to get fatigue.
That move always, to my mind, it's so elaborate. You kind of go, realistically, could you get someone in that? And you probably maybe could if they were fucking beaten up and floppy enough. But the idea of having someone up in the air where all of it's a submission where all of the limbs are being fucking submitted.
Yeah.
You got all four
and the back. And the back.
And
it's a great fucking move,
and you're in midair. How has no one ever used that as a finisher?
I just don't think it looks that there's not enough torque on it or something.
Maybe.
Tasmission, another good show.
Oh, great show.
And again, a very simple move. I mean, Jesus, Taz really re-energized the suplex there in the late 90s.
Yeah. All different variations.
All different variations, yeah.
What's your favorite? What favorite and best is probably two different things. The whole thing about they tell you with a finisher is that you should be able to hit it on anyone, no matter what size. And that's why I think the RKO and the mystique that Orton has been able to build up from it and stuff, and some of the reversals from it and things have been pretty cool. I think that's probably going to go down.
I love the history of the one-winged angel. I also love. I just think it looks fantastic when that moment where Kenny's jumping up and spinning the guy over. Like it's just oh wow, what a visual. Stan Hansen's fucking lariat.
Stan Hansen's
Clothesline from
lariat.
hell.
Yeah.
Stan Hansen's lariat is one where if you do watch a video of it now, you're just going like fucking hell.
Wow.
In any era, that's
Like
finisher.
we're 30 years past. We're more than 30 years past his peak, but like, you know, we're more.
He's still looking great though, as you said.
Well, he looks better now than he did in the mid 90s.
yeah.
What a
But,
man,
like,
like,
do you know
just
when you
fucking
like?
one
I watched Kobashi and Stan Hansen from '93 the other night. And Kobashi ends up on the top rope facing out, and Hansen's out on the apron, and they're kind of struggling, you know. And Kobashi just catches Stan Hansen's head, and he's just banging it off his knee that's there, and then Stan Hansen just like shakes it off, and lariats him off, just like cuts his head off, and like Kobashi flips off the top rope, lands flat on his face, and he's out for a minute and a half. Like the match is over, he still can't move.
I love when Stan Hansen, like, I mean, obviously it's his like finisher, but I also love when like Stan
Just hits a clothesline.
when he's he's trying to tag out his partner, he's trying to get out of the ring, or he's trying to get a fucking breather or tag out, and he just like en route, he just like fucking slams the lad to buy himself some time. What finishing moves that are currently in wrestling would you absolutely retire and get rid of if you could?
Oh, I will give you two.
Go on.
Well, I could probably give you more than two, but these two in particular. Bandido's 21 plex.
Not into that?
Not into it.
I kind of agree with you, actually. You know, it's
Sol Ruca's Soul Snatcher.
it's impressive to watch.
Looks impressive.
It's a great visual, but
Terrible
logically,
setup. Yeah.
It's an ox cutter, really.
I know, but like it's her setup of it, and like it breaks logic. And same with the 21 plex. The only person I've seen who has managed to naturally get himself in position for the 21 plexes, and congratulations, the Beast Mortos.
Thank you.
done.
Like, I did my best.
He basically was kind of like took a move and like fell onto the ground and was like trying to catch his breath, and he goes to pull himself up the rope, uses the ropes to help himself get off the ground.
That's where he's
and
in
then
position.
Bandito
Yeah,
hits
yeah.
it.
I hate Mercedes. You know, it's like the gory thing into the
Side.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I think
It looks
the
lame too often.
rose plant is a terrible move.
What's the rose plant?
The one where Bailey grabs your arm and then kind of drives your head into it.
Fair.
There's so many. Remember the overdrive was like the.
Oh man, that was Randy Orton's original finisher.
Yeah, Carlito had it for a while.
That move always fucking sucked.
Oh, it's and like the shake, rattle, and roll is kind of similar to it.
Similar,
but-
I mean, that worked for the character. I always felt the same about the rocker dropper that Marty Jannetty had, which again also was a move that paralyzed the guy and cost WWF like fucking
shitloads of money.
They paid out like $7 million in 1991 because some guy didn't know how to fucking take it. Now, in fairness, it's Marty Jannetty, so maybe there was an implication that Marty could have not
Marty
been.
was off his fucking head.
Marty could have been off his head when he did it, but this
he
guy
was off his rocker.
he was off his rocker.
Any type of like the stroke of Jeff Jarrett and the skull crushing finale and the BFT. I hate those moves.
All dog shit. Remember Canyon's flatliner though?
Canyon was a mastermind of.
Canyon's flatliner looked good for a move
he
that
was so
shouldn't be that
innovative.
good.
He was so innovative with his offense. That flatliner looked good. That is a tough move to pull off. Same, yes, skull crushing finale. A lot of those ones that are
Terrible.
planted. Lads, I have a confession to make as well.
Go on.
love the stroke.
I love the stroke. No, in terms of logical stuff, moves that guy has been doing way too long. A move that I never particularly enjoyed, and it does not look like it would end a fucking.
Primary school backyard
a
wrestling
fucking
match.
fight with a pillow. Jeff Hardy Swanton Bomb.
Now it does. The crouton bomb.
It looks good now because he literally just flops on.
The first time I ever saw Senton was
impressive.
1995, where PCO / John Pierre Lafitte used it as his finisher. He called it a cannonball, and it was off the top rope, and it was this big fucking chunky fucking French Canadian pirate hoofing himself off the top rope on the lads with a senton, and it looked fucking amazing. Kevin Owens, similarly another big chunky French Canadian dude, like his sentons look fucking vicious, and he also has the kind of the grace and the flourish of the Jeff Hardy one.
Yeah.
But the Jeff Hardy one, to me, as spectacular as it looks, just never seemed to have any oomph or weight.
There's no impact on it. Yeah, no, okay.
I'll
allow it.
I always felt like the Whisper in the Wind was a way more vicious looking and plausible finisher for Jeff Hardy.
That's a cool finish.
I like the Phoenix Splash as well. You know,
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Which is kind of like a Whisper in the Wind, except he does an extra
double
rotation.
foot stamp.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I like that.
It's kind of so many people do. I hate when Del Rio did it in the corner. You know, where he'd like you'd be like have to hold yourself up, so you'd have to clearly set yourself up to take the move.
Done well. I haven't seen it done well by Del Rio, but I have seen people do that well.
The logic of it, that was like the thing I don't enjoy about it is the subsequent pinfall attempts. Shane, you're a wrestler, so you'll tell me
you're close to the ropes.
Here's the thing. I feel like if you're jumping off the top rope and you're right down into the fucking breadbasket, 2 feet, and you're winding a guy, he is just he is going to be balled up.
Yeah, he's not. So he's not going to be flat out.
Yeah, so the pin coming off it should be some kind of like very sleek cradle or fucking like
La Magistral
or La Magistral or a schoolboy or whatever, just to basically get someone who is fucking pretzeled and just rock him into a position. Whereas like going from the stomp into like a flat pin.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Just does not seem feasible.
I agree. I allow it.
Thank you, Morrow. I appreciate that.
Yeah, okay.
I want to get into a shout as well for a move that I loved watching, and that was Hernandez's border toss.
That was really impressive.
Fucking great. He just fucked you. That's because I loved Mike Awesome's power bombs.
Yeah.
I thought they were fucking fantastic because he just kind of like, meh. Go over there, but fucking Hernandez would fuck you across the ring.
Yeah, and like that was really noticeable in TNA when they were like, they're shooting in the South Stage in Orlando, and it's a small place, so you're like, you can see the ceiling, like, you know what I mean? It's like you're getting kind of close enough to it there. In terms of powerbomb finishers, who do you think had the best powerbomb finisher?
Now,
Mike Awesome.
I love Mike Awesome.
Kevin Nash is my one. I think
I hate the jackknife.
I fucking adore it.
I hated
what with the pop-up powerbomb?
Loved it. First time I saw that, I lost my shit.
Yeah.
For a guy that I think is mostly dog shit, the last ride was pretty cool.
Yeah, last ride. And Ibushi's version of it.
I love that one. Yeah.
What I loved about that, like somebody there was a tweet the other day which was like, pick one, Kevin Nash's powerbomb or like Kevin Owens' sit-up powerbomb, a pop-up powerbomb, and I was kind of quite conflicted.
That's a hard
but
one.
like when I watched, like, you know, watching them side by side, I look at like what I loved about Nash's one was it was always like when they went up for the powerbomb, they kind of went over his shoulder. This was really evident in whatever WWF game came out in like 1993 on Sega. But like, you know, the powerbomb, someone would go up and they go down. Whereas with Nash's one, they'd kind of they'd go over his shoulder and he just fucking dropped them.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't move his arms. So if you look at a powerbomb, when someone goes up, once they get to here, you're kind of meant to post them here on their ass. But a lot of the time, Nash just picked you up and kept his arms there and then dropped you. Okay. I'm thinking that. Maybe I misremember. Maybe I'll just remember the one I did to the Big Show and fucking dropped him on his neck.
Does that constitute a release powerbomb? Because I always remember like the variation, you know, in the fucking wrestling magazines back in the day where they described Nash's jackknife as a release powerbomb as opposed to like a regular powerbomb.
Maybe.
Well, that's why I love Mike Awesome's one because it just looked so careless.
That we haven't mentioned that I like as well is the Razor's Edge.
Yeah,
that was such cool.
And again, that was a powerbomb variation. Yeah. I mean, like there was no powerbombs in WWF up until like 1991, and then there's fucking loads of them after that.
Another one that probably wouldn't work today. That it was a fantastic submission move. Fucking torture rack deserves a shout out. That was so cool.
I just hate Lex Luger. So
a lot of people did.
I liked the torture rack, and then like it genuinely always looked painful, and then
it was
and then when Mark Henry debuted his debut match in '96 against Jerry Lawler, he broke it out as his finisher in early days, and because he's the world's strongest man, and he wasn't like, you know, he's an Olympian, or apparently the world's strongest man.
He was the 5th strongest man.
And
at
like
the Olympics.
Lawler sold it like a motherfucker, but like Mark Henry's torture rack looked amazing. He definitely should have kept that going.
Yeah.
What's your favorite finisher then?
All time? Stan Hansen's lariat.
Jake Roberts DDT.
I like the stump puller pile driver. I just remember the way
like stump puller, like doink.
No,
doink?
Not to say. That's what they call it.
We nearly got through a non-doink episode.
You mean doink's amazing finisher? Speaking of multiple finishers, like stump puller, the whoopee cushion.
It's the one Cactus did.
Yeah, like boom.
Yeah, that's called a stump puller, isn't
Is it? I don't know.
I think so.
The stump puller is.
I know what you're talking about, where he sits on your neck and grabs your leg.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they call, maybe just in the games, you just grab them by the tights and you lift them up, and they don't go fully up.
Yeah.
But they're like proper extended, and then boom. I just fucking always thought that.
That's a great move.
Because I was like, Foley doesn't have the strength to get you up.
It's
Whatever,
kinda like,
but he's like, fuck you.
I'm dropping on your head. It's kind of like Tony Storm's the one now, which I think is cool
that's
as well.
fantastic.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. I mean, like
Storm Driver or whatever it is. Yeah.
I mean, like she makes that look. I mean,
Looks deadly.
AEW's women's finishers for the most part always look vicious.
I remember
and always look
Victoria's
so
in
logical.
WWF was quite good, wasn't it?
What was it? Widow's Peak.
Yeah, that was
That
badass.
looked great, and it actually looked. I remember being able to do that in the computer games, but that looked vicious because, like, you know,
it's a neck breaker.
It works. It's a neck breaker, but it's a fucking neck breaker where there's like no protection whatsoever.
You're almost like in a tarantula.
Yeah,
getting it done.
Yeah, I tell you what, my
tarantula terrible finish.
What finish would you least like to take?
I was going to say what I would most like to take, but what would I least like to take?
What would you most like to take?
I would love to take Marina Shafir's Mother's Milk, please. I look at that move and I'm like,
and we're cancelled.
That move is so scary looking and so vicious. Yeah, there's just something so alluring about it.
I actually tried to do that in the I thought it was a cool finish.
It is a fucking cool finish.
I would. What would I hate to take? I'd hate to take Ox Baker's hard punch.
I'd hate to take a Styles Clash because I know
you would tuck your neck.
I would tuck.
I actually, I watch it every time, and I was thinking about who Yoshitatsu when he broke his neck against AJ Styles.
He tucked
because there was some kind of language thing, and AJ was just like, make sure you
get your head out, extend.
Don't tuck your fucking chain.
And he tucked.
Yeah. And he got fucked.
And James Ellis nearly got fucked as well when
James
AJ just stopped. Fucking.
And that's a man without a chin.
Yeah. He's tucking.
He had nothing to tuck.
619, good move.
No. Again, that falls into my 21-plex Sol Ruka thing of contrived hardware-based fucking finishing moves.
I would really always have hated to take a German suplex from Kurt Angle.
They looked very high in the air.
Yeah,
he really got you up there.
I feel like Brock gives you, like, he throws you so high and so hard and so fast.
Yeah, you have time.
You have a bit of time.
Yeah.
You can kind of roll through it if you need to. Whereas, like, fucking Kurt was just, I felt he was just planted.
I can tell you the worst move I've taken so far.
Go on.
It was the double choke slam, or like. So he wrapped two of his arms around me.
I don't like that.
And I posted up as high as I could. It's just a choke slam. But the way I landed, wasn't in the center of the ring, and I nearly shit myself. Like, I literally thought I did shit myself.
Who nearly came out with your bum?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That's not fun.
No.
For anyone who's ever shot themselves, it's not a fun experience.
I've never.
We should do an episode talking about all the times we shot ourselves.
All the time someone shot themselves in a wrestling ring.
Just non-wrestling.
And then talk about Gary Lineker doing it against Ireland.
Vince McMahon did it in the ring, sure.
Like Ric Flair.
Ric Flair's doing it right now.
I'm on a mad session.
Figure 4 is a great submission because of like the jeopardy that's involved when they turn it on you.
I remember
which might have no logic, but we all believe it. I
remember the first time I got put in a figure 4 leg lock up in the Brothers Field up there, and it was the worst pain I had felt.
How did we never have a match in the Brothers Field?
We probably did. We used to do fucking battle royals and royal rumbles during the fucking lunch break.
What a time!
I know I talked about the Mother's Milk being a move I'd love to take, but what moves would you love to take?
I can't say it.
We can't. Oh, okay, maybe. Right. Not say it for
I'm not
work.
getting this cancelled.
I'm not taking any finishes. I'm going overall.
I feel I would have such a nice time, and I'd be so cozy in Gunter Sleeper as well.
Oh, that'd be lovely, actually, wouldn't it?
See, I don't
just cuddling into Gunter.
I know what he's such a big, lovely, burly man.
He was bigger and burlier, and he had his big old man titties, and he got skinny.
I would love to be nestled into those, much like I would with I've lowered the tone here. I apologise to everyone.
What move would I take? I would take.
That'd be a great crack to take.
An F5 would be fun.
I'd love it if Tajiri put me in a tarantula.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be a good crack.
Yeah, but that's not a finisher because he's on the rope. He's on the ropes.
Sorry,
what can I take that like
parameters?
I wouldn't feel anything. John Cena's is SDF.
John Cena's FU.
Yeah, John Cena.
Any move from John Cena.
Do you remember Sean O'Hare did like the reverse Death Valley driver? He'd have you up like that, and then boom.
Is that not the Burning Hammer? Oh no,
It was a
Yeah,
variation.
he
of
had
it.
you, instead of going that way, he swing it that way.
Yeah.
And then Wade Barrett did the shitty wasteland where he had you
Oh,
up
that
there.
was
And
god awful.
the Wasteland.
Over his
Remember
head.
that?
his burning hammer was good.
Yeah.
But
just
his
use the
Burning
burn-
Hammer is great. That was
Just
when,
use the burning hammer.
yeah.
It's the greatest move.
That's
of all
what it's
time.
called, the burning hammer when he did that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Best WWE move of I just go because I need to stake out a bit of love for this move before we finish. Best WWE move that we've seen emerge in the last decade. Baron Corbin's End of Days is an all-time
Great.
perfect.
Great move.
Very protected as well.
And so protected, which WWE rarely do with finishers.
Retired Kurt Angle.
It retired Kurt Angle, but then they just randomly made fucking Drew kick out of it.
At
least they did it at WrestleMania.
Baron Corbin was like, I've talked about it a lot about like how long Seth Foley was in WWF and all the different characters he had. Baron Corbin was someone that like seemed to constantly be getting reinventions. Whether they all fucking worked or not.
Baron Corbin was okay at wrestling.
There is not a wrestler.
Just did some stupid shit.
There's
did
not
the
a
lone-
wrestler in the last decade who got vinced as badly as he did.
He did the Lone Wolf, he did the Commissioner, he did the King, he did Happy, he did Sad.
He did poor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He
like.
did rich.
But that's Happy.
He did them all.
That
He
was
just-
Yeah, I know.
But like, and then he did the thing with Braun Breaker in NXT.
yeah, that was. I liked that.
So he had like in the 10 years, he had like evolution as a character at least, which is what.
Well, I don't know if that's evolution or just like did the character evolve or did it just give
I
him
think
a new
he
character?
did. Yeah,
Shane, would you take a tsunami from Bronson Reed?
yeah. I wouldn't take a bonsai dropped off from Yoko.
No.
Would you not?
No.
Well, don't piss him off beforehand because that's
Yeah.
when he really sits. Like asking him to get your shit in. And
I
then he
would.
just sits in it.
I wouldn't take a match with the Steiners or the British Bulldogs as a noob.
Like, I mean, talk about finishers. Like, I mean, tag team finishers, which we haven't gone too deep into, but the Doomsday Device was definitely the most violent looking thing, and you could understand why so many guys in the 80s and fucking 90s refused to take that move. Particularly when Hawk was so fucked up most of the time,
Yeah.
like, and they broke poor Henry Godwin's neck there.
Yeah, I ain't taking that fucking move. No,
I would not take the Doomsday Device no matter what.
I'd land on me feet.
I would get wrestle fucked by the Steiners for about 5 minutes before I take that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that wouldn't be fun either, though.
Maybe I wouldn't take a pounce over the top rope.
I'm not
Like
doing the pounds. or the
Keith
top.
Lee pounds or like
Yeah,
a Monty Brown.
I'm not doing.
Well,
I'm
Monty
not
Brown
doing-
posts look fucking vicious as well, but great evolution of like the spear.
That was
Yeah.
that was one thing I was thinking in terms of like
Remember when he pounced the guy into the crowd in NXT?
like
Adam Cole,
In
remember?
terms
Was
of
it Adam Cole? Yeah.
In terms of restore, I know we're talking about like can we bring back the Irish Whip or can these moves that have like lost their kind of luster are transitional moves now? But like Spears kind of became that, and I feel like Keith Lee got. It's not quite spear or whatever, but the idea of a wrestler who just runs and pushes you, which is a very underrated move for a wrestler to do, you know. And Keith Lee really brought that back to a point of prestige and kind of fear. Like now, I know Keith Lee's been on the shelf, but when the first time, hopefully he
I
will.
hope that guy's okay.
I hope that
because
guy's okay,
he's been
but
out a long time.
when he comes back and he does fucking bounce someone, it's
It's going to be a moment.
and like I think
Man, he's got out so long.
His fucking last ride set out powerbomb
Unbelievable.
and the jackhammer Death Valley driver.
Yeah. Keith Lee was fucking excellent. He
was awesome.
like he barely did anything on the main roster in WWE, but he has so many like
Bearcat.
Yeah,
He's-
he got Vinced as
he
well.
got Vince so hard, yeah. Probably worse than the others because at least the others made a load of money while they were getting Vince.
Yeah, he didn't
like
get-
Roman and Baron Corbin and poor Keith Lee didn't really make that coin. Unfortunately, got
But I hope
Bearcat.
he's still getting paid by AEW.
Oh, he is, yeah, but I don't know if he's going to come back. You know,
Probably not.
he's in a similar boat hell-wise to what Bray was in. I think.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
long-term COVID and
Fuck.
the heart condition stemming from that.
Stemming from, oh, Jesus. Yeah. Should we finish there on that lovely
I think so, yeah.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, do you want to talk about Marina Shafir anymore?
Fuck off back to Dublin for a month.
I would just take the mother's milk. I would take it.
I would drink Butter's milk.
I'll take Moxie's bulldog.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, okay.
No, she's with Roddy Strong. Actually, that's
not taking any of his fucking backbreakers.
Fuck your backbreakers,
No, fuck
Roddy.
off.
Fuck your
No, yeah,
backbreakers.
yeah. Jesus, no.
Coffin drop, another great move. I
Oh
think.
yeah, I'll take that.
Fantastic. And actually, for like, sorry, just to
On the Billy Kidman kind of thing.
On the Billy Kidman thing, but also to come full circle around to my beef with Jeff Hardy's Swanton. Like
bastard,
you look at the size of Darby Allin, and when
Yeah.
he do, and he does effectively like it's a form of a senton, but he makes it look like he is a bullet.
Yeah.
Like it's so precise and it's so fast and it looks impactful. And he's smaller even than Jeff Hardy. Jeff just like it just looks like he's just grazing people. He's just grazing off people.
Stop grazing. Well, they're giving out about him now because that's hence the crouton bomb, where he's just proper landing on people.
He's like, is he making shit lads now?
Yeah,
that's what he means. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the Macho Man thing.
I'm here for fucking Jeff Hardy's in his 40s going full All Japan and lads.
Yeah, he's in his Macho Man era of.
Good.
I'm not taking the Impact here. You are.
Good.
Yeah, I'm old and battered.
That's why he's needed.
Another
TNA Impact will have debuted by the time this releases.
Right. Another underrated tag team move was the New Days one, where the big ending into the DDT thing.
Like that.
I like that. What's your favourite tag team finisher of all time?
3D.
Or
when a big lad, when two big lads do a double choke slam.
Or when
give it a double choke slam.
It's not a finisher, but I love when
the doubles mother's milk.
That's not. Nobody's used that yet, but I hope
both
they do.
breasts. Both breasts.
I was always a big fan of the Heart Attack. That was
a great move.
And
Glenn, whatever his fucking name wasn't anyway. Sorry. I've lowered the tone now.
Poor old Ray Gunkel.
Ray Gunkel. Here's me, Glenn.
But the Heart Attack was kind of infamous because there was that party in the early 90s.
Yeah, where
about
Vince
91, where Vince thought he was going to jail, so he for the first time goes on this mad fucking drink and drugs fucking.
And he got the boys to give him the heart attack.
Vince rocks into the club and all the boys are already in there. Like Flair is signed at this point. They're all in there drinking, fucking drugging. And Vince comes in locked and then somebody talks Vince into taking a load of finishers.
Yeah.
So Jim and fucking Brett fucking lay him out in the VIP area of a nightclub with a heart attack.
Sensational.
Oh, brilliant.
The Los Guerreros double top rope thing. I love that.
Can I just also want to quote is that after he was hit with the heart attack, Hawk and Animal got him up for the Doomsday.
You were
and
stopped.
Pat Patterson stopped him.
That's okay.
It's been a WrestleFan Wrestling Show. That's a much nicer note to end on. On the Big Boy Shaz, this is my fellow Old Morrow. This is the draw, Johnny Morts. Please like, subscribe, comment. We'll respond to everything that is down there. Really appreciate all the support. Maybe we'll get up to 48 most popular podcasts in the world, but it's not about the numbers. It's about fuck you, Glenn Gilberti.
Oh, we're ahead of him.
Good. Yeah, fuck you anyway, Glenn Gilberti.
And fucking Bruce Pritchard. Fuck you.
Yeah. You want something to talk about? Fucking talk about this.
Talk about this. See you now.